There's no famine in Gaza, and I'm going to prove it in less than 60 seconds. Proof 1. You always see just one skinny person in the photo. Weird, right? If there were a real famine, you would see entire populations looking like skin and bones. But no, just one child, one photo, repeated everywhere. Proof 2. It is always kids. Only kids. Where are the starving men and women? If there was actually mass starvation, we would see people of all ages wasting away. But no, always just a child, over and over. Take this widely spread image of a skinny boy. Now look at his mom sitting next to him. She is clearly not starving. Gazans are using photos of children with genetic diseases to accuse Israel of starvation. Here is something you probably don't hear in the news. Around 40% of Gazans marry their cousins. That dramatically increases genetic disorders, including those that cause children to be severely underweight, regardless of war or food supply. And let's be honest, in places with real famine, like Sudan, parents don't film their kids eating dirt and posted it on Instagram. That's an actual trend in Gaza. Feed your child sand, film it, upload it. Why? To make Israel look evil. Parents harming their own children for propaganda. Have you ever seen Sudanese parents do that? There is a lot of suffering in Gaza, no question. But if there were real famine, you wouldn't just see isolated, recycled images of a few malnutrition children. You would see masses. Now, before we go on, let's talk about the nasty title of this video. Best famine ever. Yeah, it is nasty, because there is no such thing as a good famine, obviously. There are thousands in Gaza suffering. Many are undernourished. But the fact that most of the Western media collaborates with Hamas propaganda, pushing images of sick children just to blame Israel, that's not journalism. That's insanity. And here is the bitter truth. No one really cares about starving children. If they did, the world would be sharing photos of the two worst famine zones on the planet right now, Yemen and Sudan, where people of all ages, including adults, are dying of hunger. That's real famine. But you're not seeing Sudanese or Yemeni kids on your newsfeed. American students aren't protesting for them. European leftists and Muslim communities aren't flooding the streets. Why not? What makes Gaza children so much more media worthy than Yemenite or Sudani children? Let's say it out loud. In Yemen and Sudan, it is seen as just another humanitarian crisis. Maybe the UN will drop off a few bags of rice. Who cares, right? But in Gaza, it is political. It's about blaming Israel. It's about blaming Jews. And this is the real reason the Muslim communities and the left are protesting. And by the way, I already proved this in my last video. Gazans accounts have literally used photos of starving Yemenite children, claiming they were taken in Gaza. They are not just lying, they are stealing other people's suffering to gain political sympathy. So maybe you're seeing starving children, but they weren't even from Gaza. And if you got a different explanation, feel free to comment. Maybe you have a good reason why a hungry Gazan children moves your heart more than one from Sudan. But be honest with yourself. The purpose of these images from Gaza is to pressure Israel. And now I'm going to say something that will shock the anti-Israel crowd. Gazans are also responsible for their own situation. I know, mind-blowing. The goal of the media circus is to paint them as helpless victims, because victims have no say over their destiny. But that's just not true. The entire crisis could end this afternoon. Just release the hostages you kidnapped from their homes and the music festival, and maybe stop trying to wipe Israel off the map. That's it. It is not complicated. Golda Meir said it 50 years ago. If the Arabs lay down their weapons, there will be no more war. If the Jews lay down their weapons, there will be no more Israel. If Gazans loved their own children more than they hate Israel, they wouldn't be suffering war. They would be enjoying peace. But as long as the global media keeps playing along with Hamas, nothing is going to change. So please, share this video with your friends who still fall for the emotional manipulations that Hamas creates and the media gladly spreads. My next videos will be about children. Video clips that the media doesn't show you.
اليهود كله.
أنا إن شاء الله يعني أساعد الشباب وإن شاء الله أصير مقاوم بالمستقبل مع الدولة الإسلامية. العمليات هاي تاعت الدعس والسكاكين هاي إشي بيرفع الراس لفلسطين.
إحنا ضد السلام. إحنا ضد السلام مع إسرائيل. لأن إسرائيل خونة وكلاب.
إنه إحنا بنحاول نقلل من عددهم ونحاول نخرجهم من بلادنا ونرجع بلادنا إلنا. أنا مع عملية الطعن لأنها بترعب اليهود. بتخليهم مرعوبين. فيش عندهم سلام أمني.
And one about the West Bank, which I weirdly never talk about. If you want to know why, hit subscribe and tap the bell icon below. I want to thank my supporters who help me spread the simple truth, even when it is buried under thick layers of manipulation. Thanks to you, I keep going. See you in the next video. Yalla bye.